There's this girl I met up in Tennessee. Blonde hair, big blue eyes, the prettiest girl I've ever seen.
Hiya guys, Mark here, Celtic Crossbows. Tonight we're going to be looking at the Steambow heavyweight Bodkins. We're going to be comparing them against the lightweight brother. Some of the cheaper counterparts on the market you probably recognise, and of course we're going to be showing off that it's the Royal We against some of my bolts, such as my 228 grain carbon fibre long range, my Badger bolts, my lightweight long range, lightweight broadhead, my budget busting half and halves, and my 300 grain Badgers, which I'm sorry to say I'm out of stock of at the moment. I've only kept some for myself. We're going to look at things such as build quality, is it worth the money, along with some of the other features. Some of the things which we know about with the likes of these ones, where the heads snap out, the tails snap off, and you essentially get a one-shot use with magazine crossbows with this style of bolt. Some of the first things we're going to look at, here's our heavyweight Bodkins, 275 grain. And we're going to have a look at things like durability, amount of repeat shots, weight and value for money. See if they're worth the bang for the bucks. From the bottom, obviously we've got our cheap 100 for 50 cents range. These are mine. These are the first bolt I introduced. Twin screw design. Incidentally, if you see these with a single screw design, this style of bolt, this was my specification with 2 screws, because the single screw style, and even Steambow acknowledges that after 1 or 2 strikes the screws come loose and the heads become loose. So if you're going to buy these, go for the ones with the 2 screws. We have these ones then. These are from a company called, I believe, Cupid Archery. Great little bolt, no good with a stripper though for magazine, the flights are too tough. And then we'll extend it through the range and the prices as they continue against the Steambow. We look at things like stackability in the magazine, they cause fouling, strippability, and of course reusability. First, we were looking on the bolts and compatibility. 6.2mm ID diameter, necessary for the breech of the crossbow for the magazines. Length 162mm, again essential for fitting into the magazines. And the packaging is very good, and as these come from the factory, as you'd expect, the quality and the presentation is excellent, is what you get from a professional bolt. Some of the suppliers will supply them minus packaging to keep the cost down. I do the same thing. When I supply my bolts, I don't put in no fancy boxes, nothing like that. They just come in a jiffy bag, in bubble wrap, because the fancy packaging just drives up the cost and I won't pay for it, and that cost then goes on to you, the customer. But as it is, it keeps them very nice and presentable. So we'll go over the packaging now. Steambow AR series, heavy bodkin arrows, packs of 6. The heavy bodkin arrows offer even greater penetration due to their higher weight, and ideal for draw weights of 90 pounds and above. So you can use these on your lower poundage limbs, but really if you're using a higher poundage bow, you've got to use heavyweight bolts, because it will cause a dry fire in effect and it can crack your bow. So weight 228 grains, I said 227, I was a grain out. The material is a carbon aluminium hybrid. It's a carbon fibre outer shaft with an aluminium shaft inside, with a steel tip, or bodkin point. Recommended draw weight for these is 55 to 120 pounds. If you're using 150 pounds, You should be really looking at more like the war bolts in things like this. Or what I do with mine, on my 300 grains, these are a solid steel shaft front to back. Out of production at the moment until my funds improve in a month or two, and I'll get them back into production. So we're going to open them up now. We're going to have a look at these bolts. Try and open them up. Okay. Now these are nice. I don't know if it shows up well on camera, but you can actually see the carbon fibre mesh in the shaft. So if I bring up one of my carbon fibres here, this is with my carbon fibres. So bring them side by side. Alright. It looks like a fairly good quality carbon weave. I'm looking in, I don't know if it'll show on camera, there's a few marks in the carbon fibre weave there. Not particularly important because of the joined aluminium shaft on the inside. Now look at the carbon fibre shaft on mine. They're blemish free pretty much all the way through. So I have another one here, yep. So I got one of my carbon fibre broadheads. Now if I catch like this right, there's the same ghosting, so it must be part of the manufacturing process. So this is new to me as well. Right, but presentation, 10 out of 10. A little bit of glue on the end of the flight, but there you'll get on production. I'll get that on some of mine in production as well. And anybody who even hand makes bolts like I do as well, is sometimes just enjoyable. A little bit of sticky on there, yeah. It's from the production process. I'm checking as well at the same time as I'm going through that the heads and the shafts are tight. Something you should get into the use of testing every time you pick up a bolt. You're not just looking for flight condition and quality, you're also looking for any damage of the head, any bending, any deformation of the bolts at all. Never use them in a crossbow magazine. Right then, okay, loading the stripper. I always find it fiddly loading the first one, especially over the top of the camera. So they're going in quite nice, or loading up nice I should say. Okay, so they load it nice into our stripper. Right, loading test now. Fine, goes in nice, no fouling. I always press them in the back, line them up. Stick points at the front. Okay, we going okay. Okay, I see how it's loading now into the mag, into the quiver on our Steambow. Again, great. I got a left-handed mount because I usually keep my knife on the right-hand side. Okay, as you expect, 10 out of 10 on loading the bolts is what it's designed for. Same as again as the stripper mounting into the quiver, it was designed for. So perhaps it could be a little bit better in some areas, perhaps a more aesthetic design, I don't know, but it works perfectly for what it's designed to do. Now this is where we come on to an important point with these style of bolts, with this style of fletching. You will not use a stripper on these for love, no gold, even though it's one of mine, this type. The fletchings got no flex them at all, and you just cannot pull the strippers off them. You'll break the stripper before you pull it out. Okay, so we're going to load in now. Now I got extra weight on here because I got the additional top mount fitted. So for that, when I try to load it, it'll keep falling down. So in my magazine, as you expect, press your button and that locks it. So that way then, if you want to take it out afterwards, now you see now it is still quite, because they're brand new bolts and the fletchings haven't broken in yet, you can see that I can hold the whole weight of the crossbow on my finger. So just take it down, strip it, and you're ready to go. So as you look there now, the bolts are perfectly stacked, as they should be, where I call stackability. So it's a perfect 10 on stacking as well. And obviously, because you only put in 5 in your stripper, you still got room, put the extra one by hand yourself and close down your magazine. Okay, so here we are folks. We got our Bodkins on the belt. Here's our AR6 Mark 1 Cobra. Out with the stripper, in she goes. Now with this magazine, unlike the other one, you have to physically hold it in by hand, pull it out, and away you go. So we are, she's fully stacked now, 6 bolts in. So for operation, again, 10 out of 10. I love it. Okay then folks, next test. Can you use an under barrel quiver? Let's find out. Okay, for those of you who haven't seen one of these before, from Mike on the Weapon Collectors channel, this is one of his excellent quivers. Pop and have a look, I'll give the links below. And we're using a custom 3D print under chassis or lower external Picatinny mount to give you extra function on your Steambow. So if you haven't got the extra cash ready at the moment to pay for the double quiver mount, and this is a 3D print quiver, these are only about £14–15 from Mike on Weapons Collector channel. Okay, so let's have a look now at loading the bolts. Okay, the quiver mount itself, cracking little Kydex design, very simple. He's done a fantastic job. Let's see how easy the bolts load. Get a little bit of off the grease cant. Okay, they load in very nice. Now, the shake test. And as you can see, I'm shaking the hell out of that now. And the bolts lock in lovely. Mounting, because it's single point design, you can either mount from the left or from the right for your ease of use. So, are the bolts compatible with other quiver systems? Yes, they are. So you can see now, bring the camera up a little bit, bring it back as you can see. So if you're right-handed, on your right hand, is just pull the bolts out, come in your bugger, they say they're a good grip, open your lid, and in they go. So again, for being able to use with the quivers, 10 out of 10, because not all bolts you can do that, especially with broadheads. You can't use external quiver systems. You're pretty much limited to a hard case system such as this. Alright guys, thanks for watching my channel. Give me a like and subscribe and share this video as I can get the thumbs up and get monetized, as I can get better kitting to put on a better show for you guys. Thanks and keep watching. Okay then guys, I'm at the fully designated 10 metres Sir George Sprav testing range. I got the 3 of the target bodkins in, and then we're going to go with 3 of the broadheads to replicate such I got in a magazine. We're using the 55-pound limb because we only had a short range, and that's a brand new kitchen and I don't want to wreck it. Okay, so we're going to fire the first volley off then after the camera shuts down. Ben, out the way. Cat's gone away, don't want to blow the cat's brains out. Hang on. Okay then folks, here we go. The cat is locked away. I've reloaded the crossbow. And we're going to see now how she performs. So there's 3 shots first with the target point. We're using the 55-pound limbs, like I said, because I don't want to. Good. And this new custom tuning trigger feels fantastic, I gotta be honest. You can see there, it takes up the slack straight away. So there's the slack coming in, look. So a BA is very much like a 2-stage trigger. And I'm just using the tip of my finger, I'm not using a full pad. So I pick up one end straight away. Just creep in, gone. Really, really nice feel to this custom tuning trigger. It was really nice follow through. Okay, let's go and have a look. I'm going to switch the camera off. You always get ones, oh, you've cut it for comic fantasy or that bullshit. I don't care. Right, so the tripod is way up high. So, right then, so, you can see I can wash up all my bits and pieces. So, let's bring the camera down. If people know if I'm old, is what I always say, one shot. To get everything done. Right then, okay, coming in. Look at the group in there. That's really nice. First 2 shots was sighters with the heavyweights. But the group is really nice. Right, I'll drop the camera down now and we have a look and see how they come out to the board. Right then, so here we are. Let's take them out. 1, 2, 3. So this is wet chipboard, so it's nice and dense. It's been out the garden. Because it's pissing in the rain, and no way was I got out in the rain to do any filming. Right, let's get back up on top and let's have a look. Okay then, what we discovered with the heavyweight bodkins and a 55-pound limb. Okay, the lightweight bodkins, they went in probably 2/3 of the way up the shaft to about by there, because they didn't have the weight or momentum to drive them through the board. The 55-pound tips, however, they went to a good probably 3/4 of an inch into the chipboard where my nail is there. You can't see it on camera, but I can see a definite watermark or line where the tips sunk into the board. So even on the 55-pound limbs, you do get much better penetration with the 275. Is it 275? Let's double check. I don't want to shoot myself in the foot now, no pun intended. 228. So even with the 228 green bolts, you get much penetration than over the standard Bodkins. So for defense purposes, yes, it's worthwhile. And the second one as well, one banana bolt, and that's because I cocked the Steambow Mark 1 AR6 pointing backwards. So always make sure you're pointing downhill when cocking your crossbow, even on the Mark 1 AR6. You can still bend bolts. You could probably hammer that straight in a vise, put in a vise, squeeze it straight, and that'll be okay for another day. I haven't got a vise, so that one's for the bin. Or I might just keep it on one side around myself, not to do it again. So this is our first series of tests then with these. And I'm not going to say use the heavyweight limbs, because it's such a short distance. I'll just punch straight through the chipboard and destroy my kitchen. I don't want to do that. And it's still raining outside. We've had 8 weeks of continuous rain now, so it's the best I can manage at the moment. Right, conclusion. When you're putting the bolts in the magazine, if you put the carbon fibre on the bottom and you cock your crossbow facing uphill, which I did the first time, it didn't cause a misfire. Even today, using the alloy bolts, because I didn't face it downhill, when I cocked it facing uphill, as you'll see in one of the outtakes, you might see the bolts jump up. That's what done it, it caused a misfire. So that's one for you guys to remember. So thanks for watching. I think they're worth the money. The top quality, every bit as good as mine. I don't see the point, haha, no pun intended, of this extra black collar on you. It just adds to the cost of manufacture. I think a complete black shaft like mine, with a shaft inside, would make much more sense to me. It would be cheaper to produce, cheaper to manufacture, and it would cut down on cost for the end user. They are, I think, a little bit pricey, but they are much, much better than what you get with your kit, because these are the basic bottom of the range target bolt, and anything is going to be better than the bottom of the range. Don't bother at all with these ones. Not worth a penny, just throwing your money away. And these ones will not work with your stripper. You'll have to do everything by hand. That's if you haven't got an additional quiver, which I said below, Mike Weapon Collector channel. I'll put the links below, as you can give them a call. Thanks for watching, thanks, and bye bye. Okay, cat's out the way. Right, so Ben, back. Right, fucking cat, I'm gonna have to do this again. Okay then, camera shut down. So we're gonna fire the first volley off then. Done it again. Okay folks, I'm doing this shoot again. You'll see the outtakes afterwards. So it's 6 shots, 3 first with the tiger bolts. No, it's not.